She waited until the spotlight was on me. Until the dean called my name and I stepped onto that stage at Willow Creek University's commencement. That's when my own mother rose from her seat in the packed auditorium, her voice slicing through the cheers like a knife through silk. "Stop right there. That girl is a cheat. She doesn't deserve that degree." The room fell into a stunned hush. Cameras flashing. Every eye darting between us. But what she didn't know, what no one knew, was that I'd been biding my time for months, piecing together the shards of her betrayal. I'd uncovered her secrets, the kind that could shatter lives. And today wasn't just my graduation. It was the day I started dismantling hers. My name is Emily Carter. And I'd clawed my way through 4 grueling years for this moment, only to have it poisoned by the woman who was supposed to love me most. The weight of my cap and gown pressed down like a chainmail vest as I sat in row 15, surrounded by buzzing graduates and their beaming families. I could sense her up there in the 4th row. Left section, a prickling chill on my skin. Like a storm cloud hovering just out of sight. Emily Grace Carter. The words boomed over the speakers. And I rose, my knees steady despite the knot twisting in my gut. I'd intercepted her email to her brother the night before. "Tomorrow, the world will see what a fraud my daughter really is." She thought her encrypted app was safe. But I'd learned her tricks long ago. I was midway to the stage when her outburst erupted. "Halt this ceremony. She's a liar. A plagiarist. Fake grades. Stolen work." The silence was deafening. 2,000 souls frozen in place. My footsteps echoed alone as I pressed on, refusing to glance back, refusing to let her see the fire she'd ignited in me. She was on her feet now, brandishing a stack of papers like a weapon. "I've got the evidence right here, doctored transcripts, copied essays. This university is honoring a thief." Security moved in, their radios crackling. But she dug in her heels. "I'm her mother, Linda Carter. I raised her. I know her sins better than anyone. Don't let her fool you." Up on stage, President Ellis stood rigid, diploma in hand, while the faculty whispered in panic. The orchestral music cut off abruptly. I approached him, leaning in close. My voice a whisper meant only for his ears. "We need to talk after this. It's about fraud and theft, but not mine. Hers." His brows shot up. But I took the diploma with unyielding calm and turned to face the crowd. Linda was still raging, her face flushed with self-righteous fury. As guards flanked her, "Show them the truth. She's the monster here." I raised my diploma high, forcing a smile that wasn't for her, but for the witnesses she'd unwittingly gathered. As they hauled her out, her shrieks echoing, "Justice. She needs to pay." My phone buzzed in my pocket. A message from my attorney. Got it all on video. Financial docs locked in. "Your call." The ceremony stumbled forward in awkward murmurs. More names called. More handshakes exchanged. But the air was thick with sidelong glances at the empty seat where chaos had erupted. They had no clue the real unraveling was just beginning. 25 minutes post-ceremony, I faced President Ellis and Dean Ramirez in a polished oak conference room that reeked of polished brass and buried scandals. Outside, families posed for photos on the green, their joy a stark contrast to the storm brewing here. "Ms. Carter," President Ellis started, his hands folded like a man bracing for bad news. "Your mother's claims are alarming. Fabricated," I cut in, sliding a thick envelope across the table. "But that's not why I'm here. This is about her embezzling over $80,000 from my college fund." Dean Ramirez nearly choked on his water. "Excuse me, my grandfather, Harold Carter, had died when I was 15, leaving a trust fund earmarked for my education tuition, books, dorms, the works to ensure I'd graduate without a mountain of debt." I flipped open the envelope. revealing highlighted bank statements that mapped out her greed. 6 months back. I checked the balance. Zeroed out. President Ellis scanned the pages, his expression darkening. These transfers. Unauthorized. All after I hit 18. When the fund was legally mine, I produced the trust deed next. See the required signature for any withdrawal? That's supposed to be mine. Dean Ramirez leaned in. But these slips. Forgeries. She mimicked my handwriting. I found her practice pads hidden in her attic, pages of my name. Over and over. A handwriting expert's report followed. Sealing the lie. The room grew heavier. The air thick with unspoken horror. President Ellis tugged at his collar. This is criminal. MS. Carter. Why wait until now? I let the weariness show. The months of silent suffering. I needed to finish school first. Knew she'd lash out if she suspected. And I had to uncover the full extent. I set my phone down, playing a snippet of audio at her voice. Smug and cold, if she won't hand over the money, I'll make her regret it. Ruin her big day. Dean Ramirez swore softly. Next came the broader web, fake credit lines in my name. Loans against my inheritance from Grandma, who was blissfully unaware. Total damage? Over $140,000, including wrecked credit. I locked eyes with President Ellis. She didn't just rob my fund, she robbed my peace. When I hinted at knowing 2 months ago, she said I owed her for birthing me. For not dumping me like Dad did when he walked out. My fists tightened under the table. She threatened to torpedo my reputation if I spoke up. Dean Ramirez nodded slowly. Today's stunt. Deflection. Pure and simple. I gathered my files. She erred by going public. Cameras. Crowds. Perfect evidence. President Ellis rose, staring out at the quad. What do you want from us? The facts. When authorities inquire, confirm my spotless record. That her accusations were baseless. Consider it done, he said firmly. We're truly sorry. As I left, Dean Ramirez asked, What now? Emily? I paused at the door, thinking of the storm ahead. Now, she learns the cost of betraying blood. The offices of Vanguard Investigations sat in a refurbished warehouse in downtown Seattle, where Jake Vaughn, ex-FBI turned PI, looked more like a rugged hiker than a suit. We laid out the evidence across his cluttered desk, 6 months of damning proof that made my stomach churn. The trail she left, Jake muttered, shaking his head, like she thought no one would ever look. I held up a forged check, my signature scrawled in her hand while I'd been interning in Chicago. Break it down for me, how she pulled it off. He booted up a timeline on his screen. Started in 2020. Opening a joint account at Pacific Northwest Bank. Posing as your guardian even though you were 18. Used your SSN. Old IDs she kept. Lied about your age for control. I nodded grimly. Small pulls at first, $100. $200 to test. Then bolder. The screen flashed transfers that hit like punches. $6,000. $10,000. Funneled to a Belize account. But wait, Jake said, zooming in. These inflows don't match your outflows. She's been dipping into others too. My coffee turned to acid in my throat. Who else? Your uncle's pension. Your cousin's wedding fund. For seniors from her senior center volunteer gig. He slid a crimson folder my way. She accessed their info through the center's aid program, supposed to help with bills. But she helped herself. Forged POAs. Phony charity slips. A shell LLC to launder it all. Then the killer, an audio file from 3 weeks prior. Her meeting a forger named Rico Valdez. Make it bulletproof, ledgers. Emails. Make her look like she's been skimming from her sorority. Rico's gravelly reply, this is your kid. Lady. You sure? Her laugh chilled me. She's a leech. Time she paid for crossing me. Jake paused it. Rico's my informant, kept the cash. Gave her junk docs. Taped it all. The spreadsheets tallied $82,500 from my fund, plus $32,000 in bogus debts under my name. From the rest, at least $250,000 proven. Likely more. The world tilted. My mother, pillar of the PDA and soup kitchen queen, was a serial thief. Those practice books seal it, Jake added, bagging them as evidence. 3 spiral notebooks, crammed with my name, her script morphing into mine. Page after obsessive page. The expert pegged months of effort. This was premeditated poison. Then the life insurance policy surfaced in my name. Her beneficiary. Dated right after my first questions about the fund. Jake's face hardened. She's ramping up. Money to smears too. Worse. We move now. Wire fraud. ID theft. Elder exploitation. The feds could bury her for 20 years. I thought of the mom who'd bandaged my knees and cheered at soccer games. Now the architect of my nightmares. File it all, I said. Voice steel. Let her rot. The Harborview Diner became my bunker over the next weeks. A quiet spot away from her prying social network. Victims trickled in like ghosts from her past, each bearing scars I'd never imagined. First was Mrs. Dorothy Ellis, 81. Leaning on her cane but eyes fierce. I thought it was dementia, she whispered over herbal tea. Savings vanishing. Linda said banks prey on old folks like me, offered to safeguard my account at her bank. I guessed, Pacific Northwest. Her nod was weary. My nephew audited it, $35,000 gone. For my grandkids' college. I snapped photos of her statements, each one tightening the noose. By midday, 5 more shared their hells. Mr. Robert Klein, whose Parkinson's meds fund she drained by $18,000 while managing his crowdfunding. She volunteered at the center. Said she knew grants. My cousin Mia flew in from Portland. Records showing intercepted grandma's gifts. She claimed grandma disowned me for my divorce. I bought it for years. The gut punch was from Alex Rivera, my old neighborhood pal who'd mowed lawns for extra cash. Now a mechanic. He trembled recounting, your mom invested my scholarship money at 20. Fake reports showed profits. By discovery. Poof, gone. Dropped college. Still paying loans. When? I pressed. 16 years back. She'd been honing her craft while preaching morals to me. Jake phoned amid my 3rd coffee. Check the news. Local TV blared her tear-streaked face outside her home. My daughter's unstable. Therapy rejected. Now framing me. Mental health crisis unchecked. The anchor sympathized. These claims false. All lies. She's greedy. I gave her everything: school, car, life. Rage boiled in me. I texted Jake, victim count. 21 solid. Floodgates open. Her sister, Aunt Valerie, went on air. Linda's always been a snake. Manipulated us kids. I stand with Emily. Charges loomed. For the reporter. My phone lit with support texts. But I wasn't relieved, I was fueled. That night, 6 more victims crammed the diner. Patterns emerged, vulnerability exploited. Trust weaponized. She targeted the weak, said Lisa Wong, whose Alzheimer's mom lost $45,000. Helpers become hunters in sheep's clothing. By closing, 28 testimonies tallied $450,000 stolen over 18 years. 3 states. My mother hadn't just pilfered my fund, she'd erected a throne on broken backs. As I headed to my car, an unknown caller, her hiss, "You think this ends me? I'll drag you to hell." Actually, I replied coolly, "You'll drag yourself there alone." Click. The fight raged on. But now I had an army. The King County Superior Court loomed gray under threatening skies as I entered in my navy suit. Bought from barista wages she'd mocked. Attorney Sophia Reyes. XDA with a shark's grin. Flanked me pro bono after devouring my file. Most break, she'd said. You plot. 8 weeks post-grad. We faced Linda and her hack lawyer. Harlan. Paid from my pilfered cash. All rise for Judge Elena Vasquez. Vasquez. Veteran of sob stories. Scanned docs with growing disdain. MS. Carter. Accused of defrauding $450,000 from kin and vulnerable. Plea. Linda Rose. Pearls glinting, my old gift. Misunderstanding. Your Honor. Just family finance help. Sit. Vasquez snapped. MS. Reyes. Evidence. Sophia Unleashed. Exhibit A. Harold Carter's Education Trust. Screen lit with docs. Then withdrawals post. 18. Exhibit B. Forgery pads. Gasps as scans showed my name. Mutated by her hand. Exhibit C. Expert confirmation. Linda whispered frantically to Harlan. Exhibit D. Taped plot to frame Emily. Her voice boomed. Teach her for defying me. Sophia pressed. 23 victims await testimony. This was systematic predation. Vasquez eyed Linda. Response. Tears flowed. Good mom. Sacrificed all. 2 jobs. No thanks, just betrayal. Deny the thefts? Silence. Where's the money? Mask cracked, cold fury peaked. New lawyer. Denied. Harlan stammered for delay. Vasquez, judgment for plaintiff. $452,000 plus damages. Criminal referral. Gavel thundered. Linda lunged. You owe me. I made you. Bailiffs restrained her screams of sacrifice. The room exhaled. Vasquez softly, sorry. MS. Carter. Outside. Sophia grinned. She imploded. Rain soaked me. But relief washed deeper. Civil wind down, criminal war brewed. The fallout demolished her facade like a house of cards in a gale. The Seattle Times splashed, beloved volunteer indicted for fraud. Her mugshot glared from stands. Calls poured, hospital board ousted her. Church shunned. Book club banned. Each probed and found holes. But she fought dirty. First breach. 3 a.m. Pounding. Slurred rants. Ruined me. Open up. 911 while neighbors hid. Cops found her prying with a card. Mine. Forged. I'm her mom. She's crazy. Booked for violation. She parked outside next. Staring. Emails flooded. Guilt. Threats. Beautiful baby once. Should have ended you. Cancer happy now? Lie. Doc confirmed. Burner calls. Sobs. Breaths. Rage. Jake cammed a dead bird on my stoop. Ungrateful, get this. Community buzzed. We bought her act, said bored pal Nancy. Final blow. She stormed my analyst job. Screeching through glass. She ruined me. Security hauled. Boss empathized. But enough. That night. Tires slashed. Her laughing on hood. Filmed it. Arrest. Vandalism. Stalking. Bail yanked. As cuffed. Never forgive. Don't need it, I said. Gone at last. The criminal trial kicked off an icy March. 9 months post-chaos. Reporters swarmed the steps. Inside. ADA Marcus Hale dissected. She didn't steal cash, she stole souls. From daughter. Elders. Kin. Linda in jumpsuit orange. Ankle monitor mocking her poise. 5 days. 25 victims testified. Dorothy's frailty amplified her words. Alex's lost dreams. Mia's stolen legacy. My stand. Account empty when I needed it. Her words. You owe me for existing. Defense spun confusion. Repayment intent. Difficult kid? Objection. Forensic charts. Flows to luxuries condo. Gems. Yacht due reward. Handwriting demo. Methodical malice. Tapes rolled. Jurors winced. She testified against advice, sacrificed for her. Hail shredded. Stealing Dorothy's for Emily? Forging for love. Shatter. She owed me. I earned that cash, raising her hell. Jury. Guilty all 22 counts. Judge Harlan. No remorse. 18 years federal. Restitution $512,000. Fiduciary ban. Her snarl. Happy alone? I am, despite you. Victims embraced. Freedom tasted sharp. No fanfare post-trial. Sat in my Civic. Envelope of proofs in hand. Empty. But purged. Phone, statements. Nah. Home to secure haven. That night. Drafted nonprofit. Carter Shield Financial Aid, teaching abuse spots. Asset guards. Months later. First session. 25 youths. Abuse hides in trust, I opened. Dorothy seated $12,000. Alex boarded. Mia coordinated. Survivor's kin. Unbound by blood. Prison mail returned unopened. Therapist call, apology, declined. Bridges ash. Year on. Spoke at Willow Creek, vulnerability, blind faith in family. Applause healed old wounds. No mother updates, past buried. Bank mine. Credit rebuilt. Foundation saved 62 first year. Grandpa's photo reminded, build from ashes. When asked her fate, her choice. Revenge? Not destruction, resilience. She took much. But not my rebirth.